Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are walking in the Alawai Harbor. Let me turn the camera around. Beautiful day here. We're getting into winter weather now. So the other day I looked at my phone and it said 66 degrees and we were piling on the covers. It was getting really cold, which actually feels great. It's nice and refreshing because it was, sometimes it's just a little too hot as we end out the summer months. So getting these really nice breezes, really nice winter winds. But in today's video, I wanted to talk about what areas of Honolulu are right for you. And we're gonna specifically talk only about Honolulu in this video. And we're not gonna talk about like East Oahu, like Hawaii Kai, or the valleys and ridges over there. So I'll do another specific video for all of the areas that are like east of Kahala. And in this video, I'm not really gonna run through every single neighborhood, every ridge and valley, because as you know, there are a lot of them. So I'm mainly gonna focus on the ones that, I really like, or the ones that my clients or friends like, and maybe they live in. And then of course, ones that I know quite a bit about. So the first place that we're going to talk about is, of course, Waikiki, the area that we're in right now. Waikiki is a really cool spot because it's such a mix. You've got people that are living here full time. You've got investor owners. You've got second homeowners. It's such a mix, and there's a lot of different property types for every different kind of buyer. So a lot of people come to Waikiki and they want to own like a second property that they can vacation rent out when they're not on island, and that's completely valid. It's a great way to cover your costs when you're not here. My wife and I have owned a couple of vacation properties in Waikiki before, and it can definitely work. The thing about that, of course, is just making sure that you've got good management in place. Of course, if you're not planning on managing it yourself, that is. But yeah, Waikiki is great. It's great for somebody who really wants to be in the middle of everything, right in the heart of all the action. I made another video talking about Waikiki specifically, but it's just such an active place. You've got so many things right around you, so many great restaurants, so many great places to shop. So when you have, when you do come on island, if this is kind of like a second home for you, as it is for a lot of Waikiki residents, when you're here, you meet your friends out here, and just such a nice place because it really is Hawaii's largest resort community. By a long shot. It spans a couple miles, and you've got Diamond Head right here. As a matter of fact, I can see Diamond Head now, so I'm going to show that to you. I don't know if you can see that in the distance, but this is a really beautiful spot to get some views of Diamond Head. In addition to that, Waikiki is just a really fun and also affordable place. When I say affordable, I basically mean just like the starting price point. In Waikiki, it's pretty much all condos. The starting price point, and really when I talk about properties, I really only ever talk about fee simple. So starting price point for fee simple, probably around like 300,000, maybe 250 for a studio. And then it goes up from there. So you've really got a lot of options within these price points. There's really something for everybody. Now, the next places that I really wanted to talk about are some of my favorite places to live. Every time I'm in this area, I'm just like, wow, it's such an amazing place. I would love to live here someday. And I always joke to my wife that someday in retirement, I'm gonna get us a spot there. But these places are Gold Coast specifically, and then also Pu'alei Circle, which is right across Kapiolani Park from Gold Coast. So Gold Coast is actually just right outside of Waikiki along Kalakaua Avenue. So if you're going on Kalakaua Avenue heading east, if you just keep driving past Kapahulu, you're gonna run right into it. Gold Coast is that grouping of like buildings that are right on the ocean. So it's just such a really cool neighborhood. Of course, since it is all beachfront property there, prices do come at a bit of a premium. Starting price over there is right around like 800 on the very low end, and then it goes all the way up to several million from there, depending on, you know, what size property you're looking for, and then also the view. A lot of times in these buildings, you know, if you get a property on like the 10th floor, for instance, it's just going to have such a beautiful unobstructed ocean view. So those really come at quite a bit of a premium. And the benefit from living in Gold Coast is you have all of the amenities of living in Waikiki with like none of the drawbacks. So you're right next to Waikiki. You've got all of the options for dining, shopping, meeting with friends, you know, going to some world-class beaches. But you don't have any of the drawbacks. You know, you don't have as much traffic on that end. You've got a few ways that you can kind of get out of the area without getting too stuck. Let's say, for instance, that they're doing like a parade in Waikiki or like farmers market right on Kalakaua, and they just close the road down. So you kind of feel like you're right on the edge of Waikiki, but you're still close enough to enjoy all the benefits. You know, Gold Coast is right beside one of my wife and I's favorite beaches, which is Kaimana Beach. It's just a really nice beach. And then of course it's right across the street from Kapiolani Park, which is like Waikiki's Central Park. It's just this beautiful large park with the Waikiki Shell right there, which is a nice amphitheater. We saw Jack Johnson there a couple of years back. It's just such an amazing spot. So, and then moving on to Pu'ulei Circle. Pu'ulei Circle is arguably one of like the best kept secret neighborhoods in Honolulu. A lot of people don't really know it's there, so don't tell anybody. But Pu'ulei Circle is really cool. It's all like these low-rise walk-up apartment buildings, like 2 to 3 floors. A lot of like LA style with like bean-shaped pools in the middle. And then a lot of them have really reasonable amenities because since they're walk-ups, they just don't have a lot to maintain. So a lot of times in these buildings, the ones that we've sold, the maintenance fees are really reasonable. So it's a really great area if you want to be in this location. You want to be next to Kapiolani Park. You want to be by Gold Coast and Waikiki, but you don't maybe have the budget to be in that Gold Coast price point. And then of course you get a lot more privacy living in Pu'ulei Circle because it is kind of like up on the hill of Diamond Head a little bit. And the neighborhood and the community within Pu'ulei Circle is very tight-knit. It's a lot of owner occupants, really nice, like young energy, really fun over there. And it's just great. I know several people that live in Pu'ulei Circle and they just can't say enough good things about it. So if you are one of the lucky ones to find a unit available there for sale, yeah, good for you. I'm jealous. I would love to live there. So that's Pu'ulei Circle, that's Gold Coast and Waikiki. Now next I wanted to talk about pretty much like the primary single-family home areas of Honolulu. And when I say primary single-family home areas, I'm kind of talking about areas that are on like a flat plain. Later in the video, I'm going to talk about ridges and valleys, but arguably the most desirable areas to live are right around Diamond Head. So after Pu'ulei Circle, the neighborhood is Kapahulu, which is right on the northwest side of Pu'ulei Circle. Kapahulu is great. Kapahulu is a very active place to live. You're right in between Kapahulu and Diamond Head and right beside Waikiki. And this is primarily a single-family home community. So we've got a lot of like families moving in. We've got a lot of investors. We've got a lot of people who have just, you know, been there for a really long time. And it's like multi-generational homes. But this is a great place if you really, really want to be kind of close to all the action. You know, before my wife and I bought our current house near Kahala Mall, we were looking at a house in Kapahulu, and I just really loved the idea of living there because my wife was pregnant at the time, and I thought, wow, you know, I would love to live along Kapahulu, like Montserrat area. That way I could like run up to Diamond Head with the stroller, or I could go down to Kapilani Park and go for a walk with my daughter. So that's a really cool neighborhood. And then to the north of Kapahulu, you've got one of my other really favorite single family home communities, which is Kaimuki. Kaimuki is a really great spot. It's so cool. There's some really cool stuff happening along Wailai Avenue. And you know, if you know, you know. For those of you that are considering a move out here, once you get here, if you haven't already discovered Wailai Avenue in Kaimuki, you're definitely going to want to check that out. There's just so many cool things always popping up over there. So many great restaurants. The name is kind of escaping me right now, but there is this breakfast spot, Cocoa Head Cafe. That's it. Cocoa Head Cafe, phenomenal. Talk, which used to be Coffee Talk. Now it's like a coffee shop in the day, cocktail bar at night. And I just actually went there with my friend who was in town visiting from Minnesota. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, Wailai's a really cool spot. Single family homes there really start at like that 1.3, 1.4 number. That's really common in some of these more like desirable single family home neighborhoods. So starting price, primarily also single family homes here. So you've got a mix of people, a lot of multi-generational, a lot of people who have been in their houses for many decades, a lot of families, a lot of investors, a lot of, yeah, just very mixed, but just a really great neighborhood, especially for its location. Kaimuki actually spans on both sides of H1. So you've got so many great access points into H1 going either west or going east. So you're really kind of in the middle of everything. And then of course, if you go through Kapahulu, you get down into Waikiki. So you're close to Waikiki as well, close to Diamond Head. It's no wonder why this is one of the most coveted neighborhoods in all of Honolulu. And then the next neighborhood, of course, is arguably the most coveted single family home neighborhood in Honolulu, if not, you know, all of Hawaii. It's kind of known as Hawaii's Beverly Hills. And it is Kahala. So Kahala is on the east side of Diamond Head. And Kahala is really unique because since Diamond Head is the separator between Kapahulu, Kaimuki, and Kahala, it really provides a lot of privacy. A lot of like quiet neighborhoods, quiet little pockets are in Kahala. And it's kind of known as being more of that area where people will build their beautiful custom homes. We've got a lot of beachfront estates. There was actually just a record sale that occurred for, I believe, a 1-acre plot of land for $50 million right along Kahala Beach. So it is definitely not an affordable place to live, but it's the place that you go and you live, you know, when you're at that point in your life where you really want to treat yourself to a really beautiful area and you want that kind of privacy and security that comes with that kind of neighborhood. Prices in Kahala, they start on the very low end around $3 million and they go up all the way from there. We sold a house about a year ago to these clients who were purchasing a second home along Kahala Avenue for $4.25 million. And I must say the quality of home that you get for that price point is very, very good. They're very happy with their home, and they've even had some friends out to come visit and stay with them, and then they reached out to me. They're like, hey, can you find us something like this? So that was just a sign of a job well done, that we found a really beautiful home for them, and I'm so happy that they're happy, because that's what it's all about. So that's Kahala. In Kahala, you've got Kahala Mall, which you have 3 grocery stores right there. You've got Whole Foods, you've got Times, and then you've also got a new Foodland. You have Jay Dolan's Irish Pub, just a bunch of stuff over there. I really love the Puka's restaurant within Whole Foods. They've got a great burger and beer special on Thursdays. I think it's $15 for a burger and beer, just in case you're in the area. Little tidbit right there. And then of course on the east end of Kahala Avenue, you've got the Waialae Country Club, which is home to the Sony Open. So just all in all, one of the most coveted single-family home neighborhoods in all of Honolulu. So if that is something that you're looking for, you're definitely going to want to keep an eye out for that. The next place that we're going to talk about is one of my favorite affordable condo neighborhoods, and it is called Makiki. Makiki is a really nice neighborhood which borders Punch Bowl on the west, and then it also borders, I don't know what that would be, Ala Moana on the south? Yeah, Ala Moana on the south. So it's right there. It's just north of H1, and the exit is Ward Avenue. That's at least one of the exits, and I think the other one might be Lunalilo or Wilder. But it's just a great neighborhood. That's the area of Honolulu where you can find like an affordable condo. So if you're a young professional, or if you're somebody buying on a budget, or maybe you're a college student or parents of a college student looking to kind of invest in a property before sending your children off to UH or HPU, this might be a great area for you to look. A lot of the buildings were built in the mid-century, and so they have kind of like that mid-century charm about them from an architectural standpoint. But you know, units there start at $250 to $300 on the low end, so it is a relatively affordable area of Honolulu. So whenever I've got clients who kind of meet that profile, who are looking for something on a budget, but they want to be in town, they want to be close to everything, Makiki is kind of that place that I always refer to. I'm like, yep, let's go look at Makiki. So we've sold a bunch of condos over there, and yeah, it's a really great spot. So the next place that I wanted to talk to you about, and this will be the last place that we talk about before we go over the ridges and valleys, but that is Kaka'ako. No video would be complete without covering Kaka'ako. There is so much buzz going around about this neighborhood, and for good reason. It is a very, very cool, up and coming, beautiful, new condo neighborhood. What other adjectives could I use here? It's amazing. There's so many new condos popping up over there. So if you are somebody that wants to be in the middle of the action and you want to live in like a brand new luxury high-rise that is full of amenities, this is going to be the neighborhood for you. All right, before I keep talking about Kaka'ako, let's just look at the lagoon here for a sec. Just admire. Oh, beautiful. What a great day. It's a little bit chillier right now. We are at the end of February, and so now, since we've got so much cloud cover, there's a lot of people that aren't really hanging out here. You know, they're not getting the sunlight to keep them warm. But gosh, this is just one of the best times of the year to be in Hawaii. It's so beautiful. All right, back to Kaka'ako. Kaka'ako is really taking shape. There are a few notable developers in the area, one of them being the Howard Hughes Corporation. They have arguably one of the best condominium products in all of Hawaii. So we've sold several of those units. And then there's also a couple of other very notable developers in the area as well, and they're pretty much all building buildings at this very moment. Their condo product is absolutely superior. So every time I go into the showroom, I need to like leave my wallet and my checkbook at home. Otherwise I would get in like major trouble with my wife. Like, oh my God, you just put a deposit down on a brand new condo? You know we can't do that. So yeah, I can't do that, but it's on like it's on the vision board, so to speak. It's definitely a dream of mine to own something in Kaka'ako. And with that being said, I would say that, maybe I'm obviously generalizing here, but I would say Kaka'ako is that one place where where everybody in Hawaii secretly wants to live, because it's so like, I don't know if hip is a great adjective to use with that. It's just really cool. I mean, you've got so many breweries down there, just like a really young vibe, really young energy. There's a lot of fun restaurants. You can like go out with your friends, go out to a sake bar, go do, yeah, all of the above. And then of course there's like a lot of like little festivals that happen over there as well around the salt area. I am a little bit bummed out though, because my favorite ice cream place just closed down at H Mart. It was called Black Sheep Cream Co. They still do have a couple of other locations on the island. One of them is in Mililani, and then the other one is in Ko'olina. But the H Mart location was a little bit tough for them since it's on the second level of that grocery store. But yeah, kind of random little tidbit there, but if you know, you know. Their ice cream is delicious. So prices in Kaka'ako pretty much start around like that maybe $900,000 number. Really, if you want to get like a really nice 1 or 2 bedroom in one of these luxury buildings, you're going to be spending, you know, probably 1.3, 1.4 starting. But this is going to be a building with just a ton of amenities. You're going to have like a theater room, obviously a pool deck, really large pool deck. You're going to have a fitness center, full-time security, pretty much everything. So you definitely get what you pay for. Next, I wanted to talk about the ridges in Honolulu. So, I mean, there's a particular reason why a lot of people want to live on the ridges in Honolulu. And it's primarily because of the views. The views on the ridges are just fantastic. And it's such a big reason why a lot of us want to purchase in Hawaii. You know, if we're gonna live in just like a neighborhood next to everybody's house with no view or in a bad location, it's kind of like, you know, why live in Hawaii? Unless of course there's budget restrictions to where that's kind of all that's available, which if that's the case, I mean, I've definitely been there myself, and you know, everybody needs to start somewhere. But for ridges specifically, the buyer of ridges, people that want to live on ridges, want to do so because of the views, and for good reason. We sold a single family home up on Wailainui Ridge on Halekoa about 1.5 years ago, and they just had this spectacular view of all of Honolulu. And they also had these views of Diamond Head and a sunset view. So it's really a fantastic sort of areas to live. Now the ridges that I tend to like in particular are Wailainui. That's really close to actually where my wife and I live. It's a really great area, and it is because you're not too far east, so you can come down the ridge and you can still get into town by a couple different routes. So you never get like too locked into Kalanianiole. I know that's kind of one of the complaints that a lot of people have when they live a little bit too far east, is that when traffic builds up on Kalanianiole Highway, that they can't really get into town as easily. A great example of that is the Honolulu Marathon that we did in December, where they kind of closed down half of the highway. So it just makes it kind of challenging to get in and out. But yeah, that's one ridge that I really like, Wailainui. Another ridge that I really like is just to the west of it, which is Wilhelmina Rise. I've lived on Wilhelmina Rise before, up on Manalani Circle, which is all the way at the top. And you just get some really beautiful views of all of Honolulu from up there. And then of course, when you're up on Wilhelmina Rise, just to the south of you, just at the bottom of the ridge, is Kaimuki. So then you're at Wailai, and you have all the benefits of, check this out, you guys. Love to see everybody having a good time. Yeah, Waikiki is such an active place. There's always something going on. It's like if you live by yourself in Waikiki, you can pretty much just go like downstairs to the beach and like make friends immediately. Just go play like some pickup volleyball. It's so fun. But yeah, ridges are a great place to live. A couple of the other ridges that I really like are St. Louis Heights. My wife and I actually lived on St. Louis Heights right before buying our current house. So we lived on Alancaster. And what's really nice about St. Louis Heights is you are also kind of like right next to Kaimuki and Wailai, but you also have like a state park at the top of the ridge called Wa'ahila State Recreational Area, which is a really cool park. There's like a mountain biking trail up there. There's a really nice ridge hike up there. So just all in all, like a really cool spot. Hey guys, real quick interruption to the video. If you're getting value from this video, or maybe you're new to this channel, would you please consider subscribing to our channel? It's gonna help us out tremendously. You guys know the deal. We're trying to build the channel because we're a new channel. We're only about 2 months old. So it's gonna help us out a lot, get the word out to more great people just like you. And of course, if you are looking for more real estate and lifestyle related content, you're absolutely gonna love this channel. Last thing I'll just say is that we just launched our brand new real estate newsletter that we send out about the first week of every month. I'm already working on the one for next month. So I think you guys are gonna get a lot of value from that. If you'd like to subscribe to the newsletter, you can do so using the link in the description below. And of course, we don't add any fluff to the newsletter. There's no marketing mumbo jumbo. It's just all about what's happening in the market today so that you can make the best decision when it comes to your real estate needs. All right, back to the video. A couple of the other ridges that I really like are Micah Heights and Pacific Heights. Those are a little bit more to the west side. If you're familiar with Tantalus Lookout or Punahou School, they're kind of in that area right next to Micah. The benefits of those areas is you've got these really beautiful, like mid-century kind of older homes up there. And a lot of times they have really, really beautiful views of Diamond Head too. I know I'm saying every house on the ridge has a beautiful view of Diamond Head, which that is definitely not the case. But yeah, that's obviously one of the main reasons why we choose to live on ridges. So the starting price on ridges, I would say really starts at kind of like the 1.5 number. I mean, sometimes you can find homes a little bit lower than that, but a lot of times they either need a lot of work or they don't have a view. Maybe they're in kind of like a pocket of the ridge where there's a decline so you don't get any view from your home. We sold a really nice house on St. Louis Heights to our client Paulina several years back. And she had a great view from her house, and she also had like an ADU unit in the back that she could, I think she was going to use it for her mother that was going to come live with her. But yeah, now there are some drawbacks to ridge living, of course. The one primary drawback, maybe two primary drawbacks that I see is, number one, it's a little bit challenging to get to know your neighbors. Obviously that does happen over time, but at the beginning, it's like, since a lot of times you're at like an incline, your communication with your neighbors, that kind of like sense of community and getting to know your neighbors is a little bit more challenging because people aren't just like hanging out outside as much as they would be at like a house in Kahala, for instance, or Kapahulu. So that's one drawback. And then the second drawback is just like walkability. So if you are somebody that needs that walkability, you know, you don't want to drive and use your car everywhere, ridges might not be a good option for you. Because yeah, when you are, and of course it depends on how high up on the ridge you are. On Wilhelmina Rise, there are a lot of pockets that are very accessible by foot or by bike. So it really is just dependent on the specific location. But those are kind of like the main drawbacks. I have owned a property on the lower portion of a ridge before, and one of the things that I experienced was a lot of the dirt was like adobe clay soil, and so it tended to really get slippery and kind of slide when it gets wet. And so we had some issues with like needing to rebuild rock walls and that sort of thing. So of course every property is a little bit different and every ridge has different soils. So it's just things to kind of look out for. But the next area or type of property that I wanted to talk about is valley homes. Now there are tons of great valleys in the Honolulu area. You know, I've kind of been like working my way east to west. So like Palolo Valley, great valley. I've shown a lot of properties along 10th. Really nice because when you're in Palolo Valley, it's kind of like right next to Wilhelmina Rise. So you're just right next to, right above Kaimuki. So if you come down 10th, you're gonna run right into Wailea Avenue, and you've got accessibility to a lot of great restaurants over there. You've got Tamura's, which is like arguably Honolulu's best liquor store. So it's really great. But then walkability too. Since you're not on the ridge, The walkability is like a little bit better in the valley, so you can kind of walk down, get to Wailai pretty easily, so go grab dinner or something. Manoa is a fantastic valley, arguably the most popular and coveted valley in all of Honolulu. A lot of people like Manoa because it's a little bit cooler there as well. You get a lot of like kind of cloud cover in the back of the valley, and you get like a little bit of rain and mist every day, so it remains pretty cool. And with that, you know, if you're like a gardener or you want to have some really lush landscaping, valleys are certainly going to be the place for you. I think on the lower end of Palolo, it's a little bit drier, but once you get into the back, like Ka'au Crater trail hike, or by the temple up at the top, it definitely gets really lush and really green with all that water coming down from the valley. With Manoa, you know, you've got Manoa Falls right there. You've got UH. So like, let's say you've got a multi-generational home and you want to rent out part of your home, you could easily do that, rent out to some UH students or faculty. And then you've got some shopping centers in Manoa too. So Manoa has a really cool community for that very reason. Like, you're right in town, right in Honolulu, but you kind of feel like you have your own little city in Manoa, where you don't really need to like leave Manoa unless you have to go to like Costco or Home Depot or something. But yeah, Manoa is really great. And then just the last valley that I want to talk about is Pu'oa Valley. Now, I've sold a couple of properties in Pu'oa Valley. One of our good friends who just got married at the beginning of last year, we were actually in their wedding, and it was kind of cool because I actually sold the house to them, and that's how we met. And then we became really good friends, and my wife and I were both in their wedding, so that was something that was like really, really sweet for us. But they live in Pu'oa Valley, and it's just such a really great spot. It's kind of one of those like hidden valleys that a lot of people don't really know is there. It's right beside the Pali Highway, so there's really quick access if you need to get to Kailua. And then also it's just right above downtown Kaka'ako Chinatown area. So for instance, our friend that lives in Pu'oa Valley works right in Kaka'ako, and it's like less than a 10-minute drive to get to work every day. So the location is really great. And then it's also kind of one of the more like affordable valleys that is starting to change, because a lot of houses are starting to kind of change hands, and a lot of like renovations are happening that are kind of driving values up a little bit. But I would say in Pu'oa Valley, you can get a single family home starting at the very low end, like right below $1 million. And then of course it goes up from there. Thank you so much for joining me on this video. If you are looking to make a move to Hawaii, or if you're just looking for a little bit more information on the real estate market here, or you want to see what the lifestyle here is like, you're going to love our other videos where we cover a lot of different aspects of living in Hawaii, and I think you're going to get a lot of value from them. So if you could do me a favor and check out our other videos, they're going to be right here. All right, thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day. Aloha.